It's getting towards the evening. The sun is going down behind the trees in a big ball of orange fire. As the shadows lengthen, I can see people on the beach packing away their belongings. Many of them have spent their day reading. A lot of people come down here to lie out in the sun and read, getting carried away to other places, hearing other voices. Let's go in and have tea before it gets chilly. Hello, I'm Peter John Cooper. Today's story is about the joy of reading. Although it's really an adaptation of a play I wrote for AsOne Theatre Company. It's read and performed by my excellent friend, actor and founder of AsOne Theatre Company, Jane McKell. Over to you, Jane.
Pirates and sea monsters. You look cold. I said, you look cold. What are you doing down here in this weather? Oh, it's all right, I'm not the police or the Coast Guard. Look, on my jacket. You can see what it says, big luminous letters. We're the 4th Emergency Service. Or the 5th, if you count the Coast Guard. No one else around. I thought you might like some company. I've seen you down here before, waiting for your dad. Out lobstering, isn't he? You must get bored waiting. Do you read? No? No time, I expect. Still, you'd like stories. I expect your dad used to read to you when you were little. And you look the imaginative type. Making up stories. No, sorry, I didn't mean like that. Stories, you know, thinking about what your dad is doing. That sort of story, not... When somebody's away, you make up stories about where they are, surrounded by pirates and sea monsters. Sorry. I didn't mean to be nosy. Always something to look at. Always something going on. Lots of stories in the sea. So, what do you do whilst you're down here all the time? Whilst you're waiting? You got sandwiches? And make them yourself? For your dad when he gets in? Want some? It's coffee. Nice and hot. Ah, yes. Can't be too careful. My mistake, shouldn't have offered. You don't know who you can trust these days. No. Your dad warned you about that. Don't talk to anybody. I have got another cup. Sounds like a sensible man, your dad, if he warned you about that. Look, I'm drinking. There. Cheers. My name's Moira. Sea's good for stories. More books with the sea in than Anything else? In the library? Haven't you seen in the library much? Don't have time, I expect. Always something else to do. Do you have a name? Course you do. But keep it to yourself, eh? Got to have some secrets. I know someone who could tell you some stories. Here and now. Harold's always ready to tell a story or two. Harold, the one-legged seagull. Look, here he comes now. Hop, hop, hop. Ah! Say hello to Harold. Harold, this young lady needs some stories about the sea. Ah! I know she doesn't look very keen, but she really is. While she's waiting for her dad to come home. Truth is, we're on the run from pirates and monsters. Harold was locked in the brig. I had to break him out. We got away by the skin of our teeth, Harold and me. Except, of course, he hasn't got any teeth. Oh, give you a nasty peck, though. We got clean away. Nasty pirate. Ravening monsters. Don't tell anybody where we are if they ask. Just between those here present. We live up there, on the cliff. Mobile home, if you please. We're very proud of our mobile homes. I'll tell you a big secret. They have little wheels hidden underneath. We could be up and off in a flash. If it gets too hot. If we had to. But there's too many ties. Old memories. Stories. Isn't that right, Harold? Just a minute. He says, can he tell you his favourite poem first? Go on, Harold. The boy stood on the burning deck. His lips were all a-quiver. He gave a cough, his legs fell off, and floated down the river. No, don't cough. You'll lose the other one. Leg, I mean. Harold says, what's your favourite book about the sea? He can find it for you. Oh, yes. He can get them all. Harold's got all the books you want. What about The Little Mermaid? Look, here we are. This little rock. Turn it over. Here, presto, Little Mermaid. That's Harold for you, clever boy, Harold. There was a whole consignment of books on a ship on its way from China. One night there was a terrible storm and the container with all the books got washed overboard. The books have been in the sea so long they've become like rocks, and they can be found up and down the coast. So when somebody says the sea is full of stories, it really is. All you've got to do is look. I'd like to be a mermaid, swim around all that undersea world, see all the lobsters and crabs crawling along the bottom, play with the seals and dolphins, sea anemones and so on. Oh, I'd ride on the seahorses. No time now. Not since... Too busy. Where do all the fishes sleep at night? On the seabed. Look, there's hundreds of them. 20,000 leagues under the sea. Robinson Crusoe, Treasure Island, Moonfleet, Swallows and Amazons. Peter Pan. Aha! The Odyssey. And oh, look, Sinbad the Sailor. No. I loved them all. Harold says he's got another poem.
The sun was shining on the sea, shining with all its might. He did his very best to make the billows smooth and bright. And this was odd because it was the middle of the night.
Don't look like that. There wasn't anything in the coffee, I promise you. Sometimes it feels like a dream when you're cold and tired. Any sign of your dad yet? Maybe the pirates and sea monsters have got him. Then we'll send Harold off to fight them. Oh, he's very brave, you know. We'll swim out and take them on ourselves. We've done it before. I'm a librarian. Don't look at me like that. Didn't you realise? Look, I showed you. It's written all over the back of my jacket. Librarian. The 4th emergency service, not counting the AA. I see. You can't... I wondered. All right. I'm going to let you into a secret. I'm not actually a librarian anymore. But you know what they say. Once a librarian, always a librarian. Even when the pirate chief has had you keel-hauled and the monsters to pick your bones clean. I should have fought harder. I'll bet you could fight them off. Pirates and monsters. Somebody with your imagination. I needed someone like you. I wasn't going to put up with it anymore. She'd hung Harold from the yard arm, then locked him in the brig, in the big cupboard where they keep all the junk. She kept the key. Then she had me keel-hauled, put me on the list. That woman, Mrs. Pringle, those people from the town hall, pirates and monsters. You could tell she's a pirate. She's got a big black villainous moustache. She tries to cover it up with makeup, but I know. I bet her tweezers are red hot in the morning. A pirate through and through. Locking Harold up like that. Making me walk the plank. I was going to take them on. Hand-to-hand combat. On the quarterdeck. But it wasn't in the training for librarians. A broadside should have settled them. But you're never too old to learn. All you need is a beginner's guide. They had me surrounded, making me walk the plank. Look, they've got a cannon. The big guns from the town hall trained on me. Harold and I used to run the story corner, reading the books with the children. I loved the storytelling, but they said there was no time for that anymore. There just wasn't enough people using this place that... They thought I was a bad influence. What they meant was there was no money. No money for reading stories. No love for all the children who won't hear those stories or read those books. They'd plastered the place with posters and leaflets saying how they were going to close it down. Almost triumphant, as though they'd been planning it for a long time. I didn't realise. Too busy with the books. It was time for a showdown. There was dirty weather brewing. A storm on the horizon. The wind was getting stronger. The waves were getting higher. I've got the rest of this hot coffee. I'll pour it down their necks whilst they're not looking. I'll do all the things that those books tell us how to beat the pirates and monsters. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Moby Dick, Treasure Island, Sinbad the Sailor, I'd be Captain Nemo battling the tentacles of the monstrous squid in the submarine Nautilus. I'm Captain Ahab being dragged down to your doom by the great white whale. I'm Sinbad riding on the whale. Meanwhile, swarms of pirates led by the mustachioed Mrs. Pringle are clambering over the sides of the boats with cutlasses between their teeth. I've got all those bundles of leaflets and let them have it. Broadside after broadside. The air was filled with them, a storm of waste paper. Thousands of leaflets, all saying they were going to shut the kitty corner down. Children screaming, mothers cowering behind the book stacks. Look! Look! They're sinking. They're all swimming for their lives. They needed a beginner's guide to survive Moira in a storm. Down they go. Down, down, down. Oh, there's a whale charging them, a great white whale. It's Moby Dick. The great whale opens his mouth and... they're gone. The pirate chief, moustache and all. I should have appealed, but I didn't have the money. Wasn't in the union. My fault. I'm not one for planning ahead. Should have fought harder. All those kiddies. All those stories. In the end, I had no choice. I had to swim for it. I bashed the lock of the cupboard and liberated Harold. Now, we're wanted desperados, damaging council property, theft of livestock. I have to look right and left when I come out. Keep to the shadows, keep away from other people. Anyone could snitch. You get on all right at school. Got lots of friends. Other people can be very hurtful. Library chiefs and town hall. Pirates and monsters. And so-called school friends. Scurvy knaves, the lot of them. The thing is, I need your help. Someone like you. Someone intelligent. And I can help you in return. I really can. It's what I can do. Together, we'll take on the villains and desperados. I've still got the keys. They've got all these books. Hundreds of them. What's the good of a book if it's not read? I've got a dream. Throw open the doors at dead of night. Let people in to rummage. A secret midnight book club. We'll get the whole town reading again, telling stories. You can be my assistant in Kiddy's Corner. And we'll have fun learning about reading. Listen. Reading's nothing to do with being clever or stupid. I can think of 100 people with top jobs in charge of things who are very, very stupid. And yet they read all the time about how clever they are. Chief librarians, for instance. Oh, and Harold would be there. Make him look out from the crow's nest.
Not getting in with those crows. Ugh.
All right. Then you better give us one last poem.
The boy stood on the burning deck. Jump, said Auntie Nellie. He swam for the coast where he met a ghost that turned him all to jelly.
I'll let you know when we're ready to go, dead of one night, when the moon's full and bright, and you're not waiting for your dad. But shh, mum's the word. Mustn't let the pirates and monsters get wind of it. We'll be all right, won't we, Harold? And we'll have you reading in no time.
What's the difference between a guitar and a fish? They can't tune a fish. What do you get if you cross a herd of elephants and a fish? Swimming trunks. Why has seawater got salt in it? If it was pepper, all the fish would die sneezing.
Beautifully read, Jane. And Harold. We hope you enjoyed that. Have you been affected by issues raised in that story? Do you spend too much time in libraries? Do you think that librarians are the fourth or the fifth emergency service? Why not pop in next time you're passing and give your librarian a hug? Social distancing rules applying, of course. See you next week with our next Tale from the Cliff Edge.